Hi, my name is Angela Becker, and I did my oral component project on Good Country People. Good Country People is about a young woman. Well, she's not really young. She's 32 years old. She's considered young in the story. She lives at home with her mother because she has a heart condition and she lost her leg in a shooting accident when she was younger. Holga is a woman who feels that she is superior than everybody else in her home. She walks around her home with this attitude because she is educated and she has a PhD in psychology. She feels that she doesn't have to. She feels that she is above everybody in the house and doesn't need to partake in certain conversations and things that other people do in her household. Her mother, Mrs. Hopewell, has hired helpers to help her in their household, and every morning Mrs. Hopewell has a conversation and Holga stays in the bathroom while they have the conversation, and this obviously shows that Holga feels that she's superior and she does not need to partake in meaningless conversations about like the weather and that helps daughters. Holga also finds herself superior because when she's in college, she changes her name from Joy to Holga, and this shows that her control that she wants to have over her life, and also that she's superior to her mother and she doesn't need the name that her mother gave her. There's in many instances, Holga shows that she's superior by showing how educated she is. She walks around the house reading these books that most people would never even think about reading. One day, a man named Manly Pointer came to the house selling Bibles, and Holga's mother invited him into the house, and then she ended up inviting him to dinner because Pointer said that he has a heart condition and she felt bad for him because her daughter also has a heart condition. So during dinner, he was trying to talk to Holga, and Holga continually ignored him, which obviously this shows again her levels, that she feels that she's superior to everybody else because he was a Bible salesman and she sees herself as atheist. She did not want to partake in any of his conversations about the Bible or anything like that. Ironically, after dinner, they actually end up walking to the gate together and make a date for the next day. That night before their date, Holga has a dream that she seduces Manly Pointer and she teaches him how to live. Well, she wants to teach him how their sins were not sins and how he should live life. And this again shows her levels of superior, well, the levels how she feels that she's superior. It's very funny because she feels that she's superior, but also in the same sense, she's also very childlike. We see this in the story how she's childlike because of her dress. She walks around with a yellow sweater with a horse embossed on it. She she gives off this childlike persona. When she goes to the gate with Manly Pointer, she tells him that she's 17, and Pointer doesn't even question her about her being 17 when she's really 32 years old. Her mother even says at one point in the story that her child is very childlike in the sense because she's never experienced anything. She's never been able to quote unquote dance around like she says in the story. The story takes a very interesting turn when the two of them go on their date the next day, and Manly Pointer leads her to a barn where he ends up taking her into the loft in the barn and basically ends up taking advantage of her, and Holga did not see this coming whatsoever. He gets her to take off her leg because he says, if you really love me, you'll take off your leg. And Holga doesn't really believe in love, but I think she believed in the thought of being in love, kind of. She wanted a companion, wanted somebody that she could get away from her mother, so she saw this as an opportunity. So Holga takes off her leg, and after she takes off her leg, she finds out that Manly Pointer isn't really who she thought she was. He ends up telling her that he is an atheist, and she gets very upset, which is very funny because she's an atheist as well, so why would she be upset about that? Um, um, Another interesting point is Holga's identity because she wears glasses that make her seem like she's intellectual, but she's really not. Her glasses are kind of a blindfold to the world. And while they're in the loft, Pointer takes off her glasses, and now it's kind of like he takes off her blindfold to the world, and now she sees who he truly is when he tells her he's an atheist and shows her that his Bibles really aren't Bibles and that they're hollowed out and he has alcohol in them. She feels very betrayed. She feels very betrayed and just in awestruck that how is a smart person like me can be fooled by some country bumpkin like Manly Pointer. At the end of the story, she finds out that good country people aren't always good country people, and that she's not the intellectual, smart, educated person that she thought she was. She might be book smart, but she doesn't know anything about the real world because she's been living at home with her mother for so long. That is my project about good country people. Thank you.